Welcome back to Aviation India. Today, we're tackling a subject that might ruffle a few feathers. 6 worst planes to own today. Some of these airplanes look attractive because they seem cheap, stylish, or nostalgic, but once you own them, the reality can hit hard. High maintenance costs, poor parts availability, weak performance, and even safety concerns turn what seems like a great deal into a financial and operational disaster. If you're thinking about buying one of these planes, this video could save you a lot of frustration and money. So, let's dive straight into the 6 worst airplanes you could own in 2025. Cessna 337 Skymaster. The Cessna Skymaster, with its unusual push-pull twin design, always turns heads. But once you own one, the headaches begin. The rear engine is difficult to access and prone to cooling problems, making inspections and repairs more expensive than in conventional twins. Mechanics often charge more just because of the complexity, and downtime can last weeks while waiting for specialized parts. Insurance premiums are also higher because the accident record includes loss of control incidents and asymmetric power failures that are tricky for pilots to manage. On paper, it seems like a way to get twin-engine safety, but in reality, you're stuck with twin-engine expenses without twin-engine reliability. Many owners report annual operating costs in the $30,000 to $40,000 range, even for low usage. Fuel burn from 2 engines adds up quickly, and range is limited when compared to more efficient singles. In the end, the Skymaster is more a collector's curiosity than a practical plane for 2025. Tomahawk. The Tomahawk was introduced as an affordable trainer, but its reputation quickly soured. Designed with input from flight instructors, it turned out to have stall and spin characteristics that were less forgiving than its competitors like the Cessna 152. That earned it the nickname Tomahawk. Even today, pilots and owners struggle with higher insurance costs, as companies still see it as a riskier airplane. Production numbers were limited, meaning parts can be difficult and expensive to source. Many mechanics simply don't keep spares on hand, leading to long delays during routine maintenance. Owners also find the cabin cramped compared to competitors, making it less appealing for private flying. Performance is underwhelming, with a cruise speed around 100 knots while burning 6 gallons per hour, hardly efficient for today's standards. And when it comes time to sell, the bad reputation follows, meaning resale values are weaker than comparable 2-seat trainers. Beechcraft Duchess, Model 76. The Duchess was marketed as a multi-engine trainer, but in 2025, it's one of the weakest aircraft you could buy. Resale values are low, and many flight schools have already phased it out, leaving private owners stuck with an airplane few people want. Maintenance costs are inflated due to the Beechcraft tax, where replacement parts and labor always seem to cost more than for similar planes. Performance is lackluster, with slower cruise speeds than competitors and unimpressive fuel efficiency. Combine that with limited support and a smaller mechanic base, and you're left with a twin that feels outdated and overpriced to maintain. The Duchess cruises at around 150 knots, but burns nearly 20 gallons per hour per engine, giving poor efficiency for training or personal use. Owners also complain about cabin noise and vibrations, which make longer flights uncomfortable. It's no wonder most flight schools have abandoned the Duchess for more efficient alternatives like the Piper Seminole. Grumman AA-5A Cheetah. The Cheetah is loved for its sporty handling, but if you own one, you'll quickly learn why it made this list. The bonded airframe construction is innovative but creates a nightmare for repairs. Unlike riveted aircraft, which most mechanics can handle, the Cheetah requires specialized knowledge and sometimes unique adhesives or techniques, meaning fewer shops are willing to work on it. Replacement parts are scarce since production ended decades ago, and owners often wait months to track down components. Performance is another weak point. The Cheetah is slower than rivals like the Piper Archer, yet burns just as much fuel. Combine that with a smaller owner community and weaker support network, and you've got an airplane that costs more to maintain while giving you less utility. With a cruise speed of just 115 knots, it's simply too slow for cross-country flying, while payload is limited compared to rivals. For 2025 buyers, the Cheetah offers nostalgia but very little real value. Rockwell Commander 112. The Commander 112 has great ramp appeal, but that's about where the positives end. Despite its sleek design, the performance numbers are disappointing. It cruises significantly slower than competitors with the same horsepower, making long trips frustrating and inefficient. Fuel burn is high, so you're paying more while traveling at lower speeds. Maintenance is another sore point. The complex design means more inspections and higher bills, with owners often surprised at how quickly annual costs pile up. Add in the fact that Rockwell didn't produce these in large numbers, and you got a part supply chain that is unreliable at best. Resale value is weak too, so once you buy one, it's hard to get out of it without losing money. Many owners report cruise speeds barely reaching 130 knots despite burning 12 to 14 gallons per hour, which is worse than most 180 horsepower singles. The airplane also feels heavy on the controls, making it less enjoyable for pilots who like responsive handling. Mooney M20J 201. The Mooney M20J, also known as the 201, was once praised for its speed and efficiency, but owning one today is a very different story. Mooney as a company has struggled financially for decades, going in and out of business, and that uncertainty hits owners hard. Parts availability has become inconsistent, with long lead times and expensive prices for components that used to be common. Mechanics who are familiar with Moonies are becoming rarer, and when you find one, labor costs are often higher due to the complexity of the airframe and tight working spaces. Performance is still solid, but the trade-off is high maintenance costs and limited support. Many owners report long periods of downtime while waiting for critical parts, making the Mooney frustrating for frequent flyers. The tight cabin also makes it uncomfortable for passengers on longer trips. While it can cruise at 160 knots burning 10 gallons per hour, the ownership experience is rarely as efficient as those numbers suggest. In 2025, the 201 is more of a gamble than a smart investment. So there you have it, the 6 worst planes TO own today. From the quirky Skymaster to the struggling Mooney, these airplanes all share the same traits: high operating costs, poor support networks, weak resale values, or safety concerns. They might look appealing on the used market, but the reality of owning them can quickly turn into a nightmare. Always remember, in aviation, the cheapest plane to buy can often be the most expensive to keep. Thanks for watching Aviation India, and let us know in the comments which aircraft you think should never be on anyone's shopping list.